My dudes and dudettes, this right here in front of us is the Taycan Turbo S by Porsche. This is one of the cars that I've been the most excited about for years, and it's right here, right in front of me. I've driven it, I fell in love with it, and I want to show you all of my favorite things from this car. But first, let me tell you why I'm so excited about this car. The reason why I'm this excited is honestly, they tell you do not meet your heroes because you will be disappointed. 5 years ago, on one of the first, if not the first, let's talk about cars here, we talked about this car and it was called the Mission E, and it was supposed to revolutionize the game, and it was bringing a new thought into the electric car market. It's been a very exciting progression seeing the car go from an idea into a reality. I love that Porsche and VW group went above and beyond. After Dieselgate, VW had to make up for all that disaster, and what they did is they created the ID brand for Volkswagen. They put a lot of money and infrastructure into their full electric car operation. And then they go and say, Porsche, hey, you are the best engineering in the fucking world, period. How about we acquire Rimac, who's a fucking genius, my boy Mate, one of the brightest minds out there in the car world. Why don't we acquire 10% of Rimac, use their technology, and start building these cars together? Now, I'm not entirely sure if this car specifically is 100% of a collaboration with Rimac, but I gotta say, just having that in the roster really makes me happy. This is the first time I'm driving the Mission E, now called the Taycan. And I gotta say, guys, I'm in love. There's so many differences between this and a Tesla, and I'm gonna get to every single one of them, but I think it's very important right now, at the moment and stage that we're at. The biggest fucking engineering company in the world, VW/Porsche, made this car, and not just as a car, as a statement. In a world of cars that's completely saturated of amazing cars that are just getting better, but nothing really new has come out, this is really a breath of fresh air. This is something like you haven't seen before, and I'm gonna get to it right now. First things first, there's 4 models of these bad boys. It starts with the 4S, which is $105,000 approx, a little less. Then the 4S has an upgrade on the battery, which makes it faster. That's about $125,000. Then it goes into the Turbo. The Turbo is about $150,000, obviously more power. And then it goes into the Turbo S, starting at $185,000. This bad boy right here in front of me is $210,000. So let's go and start from here. My first favorite thing about this car is the look. It's got so much aero, but it's so subtle, so you can eliminate all turbulence in the cabin, as you can see in those grills. What can you tell me about those eyes, guys? This is one of the sexiest cars I've ever seen. And the wheels. So you guys know that these wheels, they were the original Mission E wheels. And therefore, Porsche decided to call them Mission E wheels. And I think they're so sick. And look at the size of that fucking brake. The outside features so many different things that makes it so beautiful. This third quarter side angle is one of my favorite ones I've ever seen in a car. Wow. And what can you tell me about that ass? Honestly, you don't get to see asses like this anymore. The elegance, the Porsche right there in between. My God, this is so pretty, and it doesn't need the exhaust to look badass. It looks fucking insane. Everywhere you go, people are gonna be mad dogging you because this car is absolutely ridiculously beautiful. And again, it's not about being extreme, it's about efficiency, and it's about eliminating that turbulence from the cabin for the aero. So holy fuck, the looks on this car. And it stayed so close to the prototype, which is something Porsche is very good at. And even then, they made it beautiful still. Without a doubt, this is the most beautiful electric car ever made. Fucking period. I know that's personal, but I'm telling you, this should be a law. Because this is an electric car, it's got a couple of gadgets like any other electric car that make it so fucking cool. And we're gonna start from the outside, real simple. You guys see these ports? And it's got another one on the other side. All you need to do is slide your hand like this, And that shit goes up like that. That is the coolest door you've ever seen. You want to close it? All you gotta do is swipe it the other way around and fucking bam. Dude, that is so fucking sick. And the other thing it does, it's kind of like what Tesla does, but this looks so much better and clean. You're gonna get close to your door, you're gonna put your hand right here, and the doors are just gonna come out like that. Then you're gonna close your door. You wanna lock the car, all you need to do is press that in, boop, and then the car locks from the outside. Ha! I love that. And the third thing from the outside, even though it's an inside feature, but it's an outside thing, let me show you the frameless windows. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass because the back window doesn't go all the way down because of the design. It's not for safety, it's just the design. But I love frameless window cars. Grand Coupes, these are the shit right now, the hottest cars in my favorite line of design. The cool things of the car, we gotta open this bad boy and get into the car. Now, first things first, you're gonna see your dash. It's a huge screen, and you might think, wow, that's just a regular screen like any other car. That is also a touch screen, and I'm gonna show you guys. But first, the most exciting thing about this car, and this is a weird thing because Teslas just know when you get in, this has an actual start button. You're gonna put your foot on the brake, and then you're gonna press that button, and the car's gonna come alive. Now, how cool is that? And also, the touchscreen, it looks like a regular screen, but again, it's a touchscreen. All of your lights are right here. You see that? What the fuck? I've never seen a touchscreen that's a partial touchscreen. So you can kill your traction control right here. You just press it until it lets you know that you can do that. Your suspension is right here, so you can make it sportier, comfort, whatever you want. Also to take the car up and down, and this is a little shortcut. So you have a little bit of modern right there, which is something you don't get to see, something new, a partial touchscreen on your dash. One of the first things that I realized when I was driving the car, by the way, no one told me this, I found it online, these vents don't fucking move at all. So you can do everything, but this is a first too. This is something that I really love. You can go diffused, and then that's gonna point it at somewhere that's not your face. Then you're gonna go focused, and that's gonna go immediately into your face, and I already feel how cold it is. Or you can go individual, which is fucking incredible, and then you can point exactly where you want that stream to go. And I know a lot of people are gonna complain about this, but fuck, technology is incredible! Another thing I bet you've never seen before is a touchscreen that you don't even have to touch because you got another touchscreen right here. And then whenever you want to move somewhere, all you need to do is grab your finger right here and then look at me. I get to go through all the menus without even having to touch the other one. I think this is brilliant. A lot of people might not get it, but I think this is brilliant. If you don't want to have your shit all over, like with fingerprints all over it, this is genius. Yeah, you're gonna have them here, but it's not where people are looking. In here, who gives a shit? That's like the ugly cousin of the car. No one's looking there. And since we're talking about the touchscreens, I gotta say, these touchscreens are not straight up like a Tesla. These have haptic feedback. That means you're gonna get feedback every time you press a button. So it's not as easy as just clicking something. You really actually have to press to get a reaction. And you can probably hear it if I just shut the fuck up. Listen. That's not just a button clicking, that's also the screen. Another one of my favorite features in this car is just simply being able to change your driving modes right here. And honestly, once you put it in sport, the car makes noise, and you guys are gonna see it once we take it for a drive. It's so sexy. It's like the future's coming all over the road. And also, you can turn on the sound for the car right here, just on the car menu. You can just turn it on and off. You guys are gonna hopefully will be able to listen to it and hear it, but man, it's fucking incredible. Another thing you gotta love about this car is just the quality of the interior. Everywhere you look, from the carbon fiber to the leather to the steering wheel to the seats to the Alcantara, all over here. Even that panoramic sunroof, which by the way, I 100% think it's just to make the car feel like it's bigger than what it is. And All of it put together, it's a real Porsche. It feels and it drives like one, which is unfucking real. By the way, you can get the car with that seat in the middle, just so you all don't think it's a 4-seater. But it's still kind of tidy back there.
And now comes my favorite part, the driving of it. And I gotta say, this is where really the option came about. This is not a fucking electric car that's also a Porsche. This is a Porsche that made the car better by becoming an electric car, but doesn't fully go all the way with the gimmicky shit that Elon Musk has gone with Tesla, for example. So what does the car do really well when you're driving it? Number one, I mean, you saw the size of those brakes? Well, guess what? They fucking really work. The other thing that is incredible in this car is the acceleration. And that is because the car has 2 gears instead of 1 like the Tesla. Tesla only has 1 gear, therefore peak torque is achieved immediately. So the Tesla might go quicker from 0 to 60, but right after 0 to 60, this thing is just gonna eat it. And let me tell you something, the acceleration in this thing knows absolutely no fucking stopping. I'm gonna get in Sport Plus, foot on the brake, and show you guys. I'm gonna do a launch control. And you can do as many of these as you want, and the runway, like honestly, you just get to an incredible amount of speed, and there's like no sight of it slowing down. There's no space enough. I already did it on the freeway, and I just got to other cars. I've done it in private roads, and you just run out of runway. This car really accelerates like a motherfucker. And what can you tell me about that noise? The sound of the future, making that noise in the car. You can turn it off or on, but I think it's so sexy. I love when the neighbors roll around in theirs, because some people where I live have these, and you can hear them. Like, it sounds like the future is coming at you, and that is fucking incredible. And last but not least, the way this drives, the way it feels like a Porsche. The difference between the Tesla and this, for a lot of people that might not understand, number one, steering. The steering is, this is a really well-balanced fucking car. This is not all over the place. It doesn't feel like you accelerate and then the car wants to go like this. It feels aggressive. The torque vectoring is much better. The car has rear wheel steering, and that makes it feel so small. It feels like the 918, it feels like that tiny. It's incredible. You can place the car anywhere you want, and it doesn't feel heavy at all. Look, how is this a fucking electric car? Can you please explain that to me? This is incredible. But of course, it does have a couple of downfalls.
And just like everything else that's new, it comes with a couple of things that you wish they could be better, and here's a couple of them. Number one, the practicality. Even though it's a big car, and yeah, you can use the back seats for it, there's really not that much room either on the front, and let me show you. That is the smallest thing I've ever seen. That's what she said. Oh my God, that's what she said. But really, come on. That's really tiny. And then the one on the back, this is also not that big. You can't even fit like a big suitcase to go to the airport in here. So practicality-wise might not be the greatest thing in the world, but look at the way it fucking looks, and it's so fast. Oh. Another thing that I'm really on the fence about is where they put this lever right here. That is the lever for you to put reverse, drive, and neutral. I want you to know that's right next to this fucking thing. What do you think happened the first time I got in the car? I immediately turned on the windshield wipers. Immediately. Because who the fuck is looking for the tiniest knob in the world? But I gotta say, once you touch it, you realize why it's so tiny. We gotta justify it somehow, guys. Come on. The other thing is, you're paying so much money for the car, and really the back, it's a little bit tight. Yeah, I know that this alleviates a lot of that problem. You guys know I'm not a tall dude, I'm 5'11", and look at me. I can't imagine going to Vegas in this. This is legitimately a sexy-ass Grand Coupe for you and your wife, you and your date, to go somewhere. Not really like a, let's go on a fucking picnic trip or some shit like that. I don't know what fucking people do anymore. Child locks. Maybe we should have people here supervising what I'm doing. Interesting. All right, let's try to figure this out.
And another one is the range. It really is shitty to have only 2/3 of the range that the Tesla gives you. It's scary. It's not the greatest out there for what you're paying for. If you're buying a Model S, you can basically get 400 miles on a charge. This doesn't go that far. This goes, I think, about 300 miles on a charge, and that's what they say. I picked it up full and it's already at half, and it's making me nervous because I gotta go bring it back to the fucking dealership. So I think that, and also the fact that the price is so high on the Turbo S, which is the really fast one, which is what the Model S, the crazy one, offers. I think it's too expensive for you to justify buying an electric car. But at the same time, I want to say that even though it might seem expensive, this is a baller car. This is a different type of car that enters a new arena. This is the first time I've gotten in a 4-seater, including the Rolls Royce, where people look at you and go like, what in the fucking fuck, sir? This is awesome. Never seen that before. And that obviously has a lot of sex appeal to the small brain of a man like mine. So final thoughts? I guess I'll give you my final thoughts at home.
All right, it's verdict time, and most of it is, are you gonna buy one? Because I'm not a fucking car reviewer and everybody knows that, no one takes me seriously. Am I just gonna buy the car because I like it? And here's a moment of the truth. Let me break it down very simple for everybody that's wondering what the fuck this car is compared to a Tesla, for example. Let's just say, Tesla is when the iPhone came out. And people embraced it immediately and loved it, and it was gimmicky and it was stupid. But other people said, that is stupid. I still need a keyboard. And BlackBerry at the time responded to the iPhone with another touchscreen phone, but with a keyboard, so that people would feel safe. So that it wasn't really like a touchscreen experience. It was more of a still of a phone, but you could do the touchscreen. So it was a little bit of that. I think right now this is exactly what we're seeing. Don't get me wrong, this is a very exciting car. This is one of the most exciting cars I've ever fucking driven in my life. No question about it. The way it accelerates, the way it drives. But it is not an electric car, if you will, first, and then a Porsche. This is, and this is the big difference, this is a Porsche that got better by becoming electric. Yeah, it's missing some range. Yeah, it has some problems, but nothing crazy. It's just a Porsche upgraded because it's electric. Whereas a Tesla is proudly electric and the gimmicks are flowing everywhere. And now, this is where it separates the market really into two. And I love this, because then I have my friends that were like, I'm never getting into Tesla, dude, of course not. I'm so much better than that. I like the rear engine and I like the car and blah, blah, blah. Now those idiots are the ones, my friends, again, just my friends, now are the ones, of course I would buy that instead of a Tesla. And that makes me really happy. That's why this car is so good, because it'll make those people go, I'll go into an electric car. But I do really think there needs to be a little bit more of the gimmicky shit in the car. Yeah, it drives itself, but it kind of sucks at it. Yeah, the range is not great, but it's not bad. Like, it needs to get better at being an electric car. I love it. Am I gonna buy it? It's so hard for me to justify spending another $100,000 over the Model S, but it is very sexy. It has the appeal that no other car has. It's really fast, it's electric, and it's a fucking Porsche. So, am I gonna get one? Yes. I just need to figure out exactly what model. I might end up with a Turbo S. I'm not saying that's completely out of the question. It's hard for me to imagine that the Turbo S, being what it is right now and so expensive, is that much better than the 4S with the upgraded battery motors. If that's the case, then I'll go with the 4S. I'm not a guy that has to have the biggest badge on a car for it to make sense, because as my daily, this won't work, but this will work as a sexy ass car to take my wife somewhere around the area. This is not a car that you're gonna take from here to San Francisco, but it's a car you're gonna take to the best restaurants in LA, go to Canyon Drive, and then come back home because you need to charge it again. I loved it. Loved it. I love that it's so different from a Tesla. I think this is gonna be the first car I get from what we're waiting, because who gives a shit if they depreciate? I'm gonna lose a lot of money anyway, so might as well do it. I just need to find out about the 4S. I just need to move my E-Wagon, but definitely this is a car that I want to have. This is something that I need, and also I feel like a lot of people will watch it and say, that's a cool car, and will make that jump easier for those people to go into an electric car. So those are my thoughts on the car. That's what's different between this and the Tesla. It's also more refined. The torque vectoring is much better. It's a Porsche. And again, it's enhanced by the fact that it's electric, but it's not making it as an electric car first and then a Porsche. It's a Porsche first, and then it's also an electric car Porsche.
it's not really what you would expect in a Tesla. I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I fucking did. So take it easy.